All right, Leo, how are you doing? Hopefully everything is going good. This is going to be your November 15th to December 1st tarot love reading. So stay with me here as we dive into the world of love reading. No, I don't have anything else I can say there, so let's see what we find here. Alrighty, hold on one second. Gotta get logged in here. I have to do this every time. I don't know why it doesn't just do it automatically, but that's alright. Okay. There we go. Alright, let's do this. Let's do 2 more shuffles, and then let's see what we can do here. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend, or are still having a good weekend. In some parts of the world, I feel like the weekend is over. And in other parts, maybe it's just beginning, right? Maybe there's a hidden continent out there we don't know about, and it's like 2 or 3 days behind, and so the weekend is just starting for those people. These are just things I'm observing. People that I'm in a very special group of weirdos. So, all right, let's see. Let's do one more shuffle for Leo. Let's see what we get now. Let's do another shuffle for Leo. I think you guys deserve one more shuffle. All right. So let's look at the cards. Oh. Okay. Let me yawn and get that out of the way. There we go. All right. So here's what we got. We have, this is for Leo, we have love right here. We have the distorted masculine right here. Okay. And then we have chivalry, which is right here. This one is in reverse, though. I'm just showing you what it looks like upright. Hey, Kiru, how are you doing? Even though I said that a minute ago. Hopefully you're still hanging in there. Hopefully you haven't fallen off of whatever you were hanging on to. We're doing the Leo reading here. Leo loves. Let's see what we got. So the first card we have is love. The love card. This to me is good. This is showing that either there's something that's happening, there's love, there's this sense of love moving forward. I also view it as it can be self-love. It can be something like we're learning to love ourselves. We're learning to understand things for what they are. We're learning to, once we learn to understand ourselves, then we can start to understand the world better. I honestly feel like both of them are connected, the macro and the microcosm of that kind of duality construct, right? So when we know ourselves, we know the world. When we know the world, we can see ourselves in other people. When we see ourselves in other people, we can love those people. Even if they are very difficult life lessons, we can love those people because they've taught us something. We don't walk away from anything not learning anything. We've always learned something, but sometimes the lesson gets skewed, or sometimes we feel like we're being picked on. When in actuality, the universe is just trying to show us something. It's trying to show us another facet. So then we have this card. We have the distorted masculine right here. Now this is something where we could be dealing with an energy. We could be dealing with an energy that can be overbearing. So the distorted masculine, if you guys have heard me talk about the Aries in reverse, that's kind of what I'm talking about. The distorted masculine is kind of like the war mentality. It's kind of like emotion versus logic. I mentioned this in another reading I did. When we were talking about emotion versus logic, nobody wins because both of those things are two very different things. It's like saying, what would win? Earth versus water. What the hell does that mean? You know, what are you talking about? It doesn't matter. That's exactly what this is. When we're talking about comparing logic and emotion, there's no comparison. They're very, very different things. But that's the kind of mentality we could be dealing with, where someone views an emotional person as irrational, or someone views a logical person as irrational, right? If someone is all emotion and no logic, this person will think they'll just fly off the handle. So we could be dealing with someone who can make us feel like we're crazy, or they can make us feel like, we're up in the night, we're out there sucking blood, we're doing all sorts of weird stuff. And in reality, it's this person not feeling comfortable with their own sense of self-expression, and they project that onto you, and then you feel the repercussions of it. And a lot of times, not knowing that we're even doing this, we'll take on a partner or a prospective love interest's emotional, let's call it what it is, emotional garbage. And when we do that, we show it back to them. We show them what that looks like because we don't know how to express emotions that are not our own. And when we show them that we're expressing their own emotions, they look at us and they think we're gross or we're ugly, but really we're showing them, and sometimes it's subconsciously, we're showing them what they look like. We're showing them the things they haven't worked on. And the reason they think it's ugly or they think it's gross is because they don't want to think about it. They don't want to focus on changing. They don't want to think that there's things that they can improve on. And so they tend to bury that. They tend to focus on that. Now, we have this card too. We have chivalry in reverse, all right? So chivalry upright, we have an honorable gentleman or gentlewoman. Never hear gentlewoman, right? That's, I guess women can't be gentle. That's apparently what that means. I don't agree with it. But we have chivalry in reverse. This is showing that maybe we feel that chivalry is dead. Maybe we feel like people aren't doing the right thing because they necessarily care. Maybe we feel like people are doing the right thing because they think they will be rewarded. Hey there, D, how are you doing? And because these people, the distorted masculine people that we're talking about, because they could be doing something because they feel like they'll be rewarded for it and not because it's the right thing to do, that can show that there's a huge moral kind of corruptness with character. There's nothing wrong, okay, I'm going to say this right now, there's nothing wrong with having a big-ass coffee. Absolutely not. I like them. I don't know if you guys do. They're delicious. No, but there's nothing wrong with doing something and maybe expecting something out of it, right? Like if we were working, we would expect to be paid. There's nothing wrong with thinking in those ways, in that way of thinking. But a lot of times people will try to exaggerate their moral character by acting in a way they don't normally act, hoping to receive a reward. And when they don't get it, they act like babies. They act like these spoiled, rotten little children. And it's because their intention was never to do the thing for the right reason. It was to do something to get something. Okay? That's, yeah, iced coffee is the way to go. Absolutely. This is cold brew mixed with a little bit of crack, little tiny bit of crack. No, this is just black coffee, and I spruced it up myself. Some heavy cream in here, some more heavy cream. It's basically just coffee water with a lot of heavy cream, and I'm almost to the bottom of it. And monk fruit sweetener, which I really enjoy. Okay. So hopefully you guys can understand that. When we're dealing with someone, especially when we're first meeting them, it's important to look at the character of the person. It's important to see how they react, how they respond. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is a lot of times when we get the hard eyes, we get like the cartoon little hard eyes that pop out of our head. When we're like that, we miss the red flags. When we're looking at something through rose-colored glasses, we will always miss the red flags. And then we beat ourselves up later. And then we get mad at ourselves. And then we get upset. There's a way we can do this, and that's if we're in that state, still keep our wits about us. I understand there's some chemicals. I understand there's some wanting to, get it on kind of energy, but that's not going to help us in the long run because we could be giving something up in order to achieve that kind of energy. And these people, sometimes they prey on that kind of energy. And that's why I always talk about working on our own our own stuff, working on our own traumas. Okay, because if we think that love, if we think in a way that love is conditional, that people cannot love us unless we're productive or unless we're always striving to do our best all the time forever, that makes us feel like in order to be in a relationship, we have to be breaking our back constantly. Otherwise, we're failing. Okay, that's no way to live. We want to look at love being unconditional, where people will love us even on days when we're sick, even on days when we're not feeling well mentally or emotionally. People will still love us. People will still care for us. So that's what I'm talking about there. Okay, so let's look at a little bit more here for Leo. All right, let's shuffle these cards. Okay, so let's do this, and let's look at these cards here. Oh. Wow, okay. So we're on to the tarot cards this time. We were using the True Love Oracle deck before. I think that's what it's called, True Love Oracle or True Love Oracle. So we have King of Coins in reverse. And this is on love right here. This is on the love card. So when we're talking about King of Coins in reverse on the love card, it could be someone not appreciating our value, okay? Literally, the King of Coins, when it's upright, it's a valuable card. It's this person that can be very, they can be kind of stern, they can be kind of serious, but there's someone who has wealth in either knowledge or money or spiritual wealth, whatever you want to call it. But there's someone who has a wealth of something, right? But when this is in reverse, it could be someone undermining our value, or it could be us undermining our value. Because we're with ourselves 100% of the time every day, at least I hope so. Because we're like that, it makes it so that when we are trying to look for our own value, it's very difficult to do. Yet we can judge another person that we see in an instant, but we cannot do that for ourselves. Or if we do that for ourselves, it's always negative, right? And that's because we need to work through the trauma. Again, it's kind of a theme on this channel. It should be called Trauma Tarot, because that to me would probably make more sense. But it doesn't mean that anything we're doing is wrong. It just means that if we have a traumatic viewpoint, it can be a little harder for us to understand what exactly is going on, right? And so the whole point of working through trauma is so that instead of thinking on a level that's down here, we're thinking on a level that's even. We're thinking on a level that's like a level playing field, okay? We're no longer down in the basement and looking out at the world and thinking that everything else is higher up than we are. We're on the same level as everything else, and we can see everything for what it is. We can understand the perspective because we're on the same level that everyone else is on, or you would hope everyone else is on. Okay, so then we have the distorted masculine, my Leo friends, okay? We have the distorted masculine with the Four of Coins right here, all right? So what would you think this would mean? Distorted masculine with the Four of Coins. This card, it's kind of like we're being left out in the lurch here. We're being left out in the dust. Maybe the distorted masculine came along and tried to take everything we felt like we had, or everything we felt like we owned, everything we felt like was ours. I feel like this card is saying we stood up for ourselves. We did something that normally we wouldn't do. Maybe we got fed up. Maybe we said, you know what, if you want to do that, go for it. I'm tired of being in this kind of situation. And that right there is one of the best things that can happen to us, is when we are fed up and we are done, because as soon as that moment comes, when we're fed up, we're done, and we're moving out of that relationship that's toxic, we're not going to let it happen again. We've learned our lesson. The universe knows we've learned our lesson, and it's going to give us a different lesson, okay? Maybe it's not a better lesson necessarily, but it's helping us find deeper and deeper and deeper understandings of what it means to be a human, right? And what it could possibly mean to be in a relationship. So these can be good things. When we're at our wits' end, it further defines who we are as a person, because we're realizing we don't tolerate certain things. And a lot of us, I feel like, because things happening when we were younger, our sacral chakra, our chakra that involves choice, that involves us learning and understanding things and taking the left or the right path. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about choice, being able to be decisive. A lot of us have lost that decisiveness, and sometimes we need really shitty people to help discover that decisiveness again, because they'll bring it out of us. They'll show us the things we don't want so many times, and then we'll be like, okay, I get it. Now I know what I want. And then we cut off toxic friends or toxic family. We get rid of toxic people, and then we focus on establishing new, better relationships. But we have to get rid of the things that aren't working, right? So, chivalry in reverse, okay? And Nine of Swords, right here. So, this card here means that you're going to be visited by an upside down man, okay? He's very tiny and he moves really fast. Very angry too. No, I'm just kidding. This card in reverse is showing that maybe we think chivalry is dead. Maybe doing something for the right reason is gone. Maybe people just do something for whatever reason they want, and they say they're doing it to be virtuous. But this card, Nine of Swords, right here, this is an anxiety card. This is showing that we want to be perceived as good. We want the world to be good. We want things to go well for us, right? But Nine of Swords or not the Nine of Swords card, this is anxiety. This is insomnia. This is having coffee at 7:31 at night and hoping you can sleep tonight. I won't, but basically it could be disillusionment. It could be disillusionment from whatever it is we're feeling. And sometimes to be disillusioned is a good thing because it's a wake-up call into what reality actually is. Sometimes we're in such a wonderland, we're in such a just like fairy tale world that we need to have the bubble pop. We're going to fall and it's going to hurt and it's going to bruise our butts. But eventually we'll get back up, we'll brush ourselves off, and we'll realize what's going on. If you guys have seen, and I'm sure you have, or you've at least heard of this movie, The Matrix, if you guys have seen that, what happens in that? There is someone who is in this virtual world, they feel like they don't belong, something's not right, and then they wake up and they're in the desert of the real. They're in this real world where everything is very bleak and very, whatever, but it's real. It's real. It's right in front of them. And sometimes when we awaken at first to disillusionment, that's what it's like. But eventually we see things for what they are, and we're going to be grateful because we can see beyond the illusion. We can see beyond that illusion. So it's important to realize that we're going to go through several cycles in our life where we're going to be asleep. We're going to wake up, okay? Then we're going to be asleep, we're going to wake up, we're going to be asleep, we're going to wake up. That's going to be something that happens continuously, and as long as we let that take its course, that's okay. But sometimes we fall into an illusionary state for a little bit, we'll snap out of it, but it's important for us to come back to center, right? So that's what I have got for Leo. Hopefully you guys appreciated that. Hopefully it resonated. If you guys have anything to say, Kiru or D, if you guys have anything to say, please go for it, or anyone else that's watching. I don't talk as much when I'm doing these. After I'm done doing the reading, I will talk to you guys. But yeah, so you're welcome, Kiru. You're very, very welcome. Yes, it is hurtful. Eyes wide open, absolutely. It can be. It can be unsettling. It can feel like it's not kind, or it can feel like it's too harsh. But it's meant to be that way for a reason, Okay. And like I was saying earlier, pain, mental, physical, emotional, that's something that teaches us. Pain is an amazing teacher. Suffering is an amazing teacher. But it teaches us in a pretty harsh way. Okay. I meant it resonated with me. Okay. Oh, awesome, D. I'm glad it resonates. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna take another sip here. Big boy sip right here. The rest of this is going down. Oh. All right, everyone. I'm going straight to Libra, and then Pisces, and then you know how the tarot goes, or the zodiac. I will see you guys on Libra. If you want to come in, you can watch. Please don't feel like you're like obligated or anything. I appreciate seeing you guys though, keeping me company. I love that. So I will see you guys in Libra. Okay, everyone. Toodaloo. Good night, Kiru. Have a good one.